Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Okay, y'all, let's talk about the Women of Heart and Hustle Houston real quick, because it's been a lot of stuff, online with them, making little posts and stuff. Because the first post that took me was the one when Ro posted that one of her castmates is a clown. Now, the people watching, I think a lot of us automatically thought that she was talking about Labrina because of what we were seeing from the second season, like the few episodes about her saying that they weren't on her level and the pressures coming, stuff like that. So most of us were thinking she was talking about Labrina. But as the post kept coming, I was like, she may not be talking about Labrina, because her and Labrina, they like each other posts, they make comments under each other's posts. So I don't think it's Labrina. So then I was like, could it be Elena? But no, I don't know if it's Elena. I put a question mark about her, like if she included in it. Once Ro made that post and called Chloe out, I was like, oh, okay, she's talking about Chloe, because she said that Chloe was the only castmate to say something negatively about them on an interview. So I was like, okay, did I miss something? Because I watched it, but I don't remember what she said. So I had to go back, and it was that she called her name, because the host asked, okay, tell me who is your least favorite castmate and your favorite castmate. And she said, Chloe, I'll start with you. So when she asked her, Chloe says that her least favorite, it changes like every other day or whatever. But at that time, which was like over a week ago, she said that it was Labrina and Ro. And when she said Ro, I was like, Ro? Because I'm thinking, like first season, it was like Ro, Latoria, Chloe, and then on the other side was Manera, Labrina, and Elena somewhere in the middle. So I would have never thought she would have said Ro. I was like, why did she say Ro? And I was hoping that the host would have asked her, because she said, well, tell me why she is your least favorite. And she was like, which one? And she was like, well, Labrina. And Chloe's connection kept going in and out, and I think that kind of threw the interview off. But she said when it comes to Labrina, she's going to leave it up to the viewers to figure out why she's her least favorite. But the lady never got a chance to ask, well, why is Ro your least favorite? I would have loved to know her answer, because you leaving all of us confused, because they making posts like we talked about in my last Heart and Hustle Houston review, when Labrina made the post to her stories where she was showing the screenshots between her and Elena, and then she came out with a reel where it's like she at this press conference and they asking her all those questions, but she's not, responding. Latoria and Elena, they do like little subliminals here and there. Manera, for the most part, she is focused on her in being an influencer and her family. She really don't post a lot, on social media in regards to what's happening on the show. But she did say in that interview that sometimes what happens off the show is not necessarily what we get to see on the show. And when asked who was her least favorite and who was her favorite, of course her favorite is Labrina, because she said they were friends before the show even came along, right? And when it comes to her least favorite, she was like, y'all just gonna have to watch the show. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to figure it out. Now I was like, okay, it's either Chloe or Latoria, and I'm feeling like it's Chloe. Now if it was me, and right now my least favorite is Chloe, I'm gonna be like Chloe, because she messy, she don't like to take accountability, she act like she need whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I would just have to let her know she ain't had no problem calling out Labrina with Manera sitting there. She said, Manera, I know you're not gonna like this, but
oh, y'all got me paired with Manera. She might not like this, but my least favorite right now, because my least favorite changes every day, right now is probably Labrina or Ro. I'll go with Labrina or Ro.
Now, why? What makes her your least favorite?
Which one?
Labrina.
I'll let the viewers judge that.
And when they asked her who was her favorite, she said that it's Elena. And because Elena is living her truth right now and she's doing her thing for the most part, that's what she said about Elena. So when I was over there on Threads, because I like Threads, and I saw that Ro made a post, right? So she says she She acting like she's above it all when you started all this. You the lowest in the pits of hell. You said my name in the Shade Room interview. You can't remember? Because your phone fell in the sink 100 times and your Wi-Fi was on Boost Mobile. Girl, shut up. So that's what Ro had to say about Chloe. And Ro also said, okay, you know, Chloe made a post, like a statement, and Ro is like, throw her and that Chat GPT thesis statement in the dumpster. I'm bored. And if you didn't see it, Chloe did make a post on her personal page, and it says, a personal message from Chloe Cook. Respectfully, I don't want to talk about the show. Not because I'm avoiding anything, I just genuinely don't think about it the way everyone else does. I don't spend much time discussing cast members, analyzing episodes, or reliving conversations once filming is over. If it's not press or something I'm paid for, I care not to engage. When the camera stops rolling, my focus shifts right back to my real life, my children, my man, my money, my brands, my family, and my purpose. The truth is, I didn't need television to become Chloe Cook. Way before a camera ever followed me, I had spent years building businesses, serving my community, mentoring, and establishing a name that opened doors in rooms I hadn't even entered yet. I've had people recognize my work in airports, conferences, classrooms, events, and even countries globally far beyond Houston. Not because of a television show, but because of years of consistency. So while I appreciate everyone who supports me, please don't feel obligated to send me every post, comment, opinion, or conversation about the show. I promise I'm not losing sleep over any of it. I promise. Life is too short. God has been too good, and I have far too much to be grateful for. This show is something I do. It is not who I am. So that's basically what Chloe had to say. But what I found interesting about it, about all the stuff that she listed and stuff like that, and how she trying to say, I didn't need this show for what I have already accomplished in my life. It's kind of funny because it kind of come off the same way they felt a way about Labrina saying, y'all not on my level. It gives that, in my opinion, it gives, y'all not on my level. I didn't need this show to get to be who I am. Now, some of y'all may need this show to help with your businesses, to help with marketing. I was already known. She said she international. Well, Candace say she worldwide. So that's what it's given to me, in my opinion. But I would have never thought that when they asked that question, that hurt people, because they only asked for one person. They was just like, who is your least favorite? But she said Labrina and Ro, and I would have never thought that she said Ro. And I was also surprised that when she said her favorite was Elena, I thought she would have said her favorite was Latoria. I don't know what I'm missing. I do not know, but I do know in that same interview that, I think I already said this, but Manera said some things that you see, some things that happen outside of the show is not necessarily what you get on the show. And Manera, of course, her favorite was Labrina, but she said when it comes to her least favorite, y'all just need to watch the show, and I'm pretty sure you'll figure out who it is. I don't know. Maybe it's not for you. I mean, you got all these other things going on, and how did you know? Okay, so if you have all these other things going on, and when she made the statement in her post, okay, so in her post where she says, way before a camera ever followed me, I had spent years building businesses, serving my community, mentoring, and establishing a name that opened doors in rooms I hadn't even entered yet. Okay, how do you know that this show was one of those doors? Because the way I'm reading it is coming off as if I've been, you know, who I am in my spaces in when it comes to business, this, that, and the other before the show. But for some of y'all, maybe this is the door y'all needed to kick. It almost saying that it almost comes off as if she's saying y'all needed this show to kickstart what y'all have going on. But when we first was introduced to all the women, they already had it going on, because people recognize stuff that they already had going on. But yeah, if y'all saw this, get down in the comments, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later.